All right, coming in live from the Built Ford Tub studio on a Thursday morning. It's the Boomer and Geo program without the booms, without the G. They're on, a little long weekend. So myself and Sal Licata will take you through the morning. And what a morning to have. We thought we'd come in and talk all about Aaron Rodgers. We thought maybe we would talk some NFL football. We thought perhaps at some point in the morning we would talk about the New York Knickerbockers, near and dear to Sal's heart. Maybe the New York Rangers and the upcoming NHL playoffs, all these things that Sal loves. At some point, we are going to talk about Matt Ryan because Sal loves him. He's a free agent. Maybe he could go to the Jets. But no, instead, it's Edwin Diaz. And if you're just waking up, like many of us, you're a Met fan and you're all excited. New season's upon us. And then you find out that Edwin Diaz got hurt last night. Edwin Diaz didn't get hurt playing a game. Edwin Diaz didn't get hurt pitching in a game. Edwin Diaz got hurt after the game. Not even jumping around. It was like a little toe tap. And he's out. Hi, Sal. How are you?
I'm trying to think of the right word, and I did give this some thought. Last time, I'm like, maybe I'll use livid. And then I was like, livid doesn't really justify the way that I feel.
Okay.
I was beyond infuriated.
Right.
And I know it's nobody's fault. But why, like, of all the teams to lose a key player?
Why the Mets?
Like, if I'm Steve Cohen,
well,
I'm suing the pants off of Major League Baseball. I'm suing everybody. Manfred, baseball, I want my money back from Diaz. Anybody else who joined him in the WBC. Like, Jared, this is not anything new. This is not reactionary. This is something I've been saying, and I know many have been saying for weeks, if not months. You cannot have major league players that are getting paid millions of dollars to do a job for a team go participate in a meaningless exhibition tournament, the Worthless Baseball Classic. It cannot happen.
But it does.
And then, of course, Diaz, the Mets lose him, what seems to be, I mean, come on.
Maybe for the season. We'll see. First of all, we got to see exactly. Well, no, hold on. We got to see what it is. If it's a torn ACL, which is what I would expect it to be when they do the imaging, then there's a chance he could be back in September. When I looked into how long it takes guys to come back, it's usually about 6 months from everything I read. So it puts you into, mid-September. So it's possible
that
if
it's a what, did you say?
Around 6 months.
What is the injury?
If it's a torn ACL.
Torn in only 6 months?
That's what I read. That could be very wrong. Perhaps it's more. What I saw this morning in a couple of the articles that I read was around 6 months you could be back. If that's the case, you might have him back. Now, you got to be ready to come back. So maybe September is maybe pie in the sky. Maybe it's more like October if they get to the playoffs. But I understand I got guys in the newsroom before you got here. I thought we were going to have a pity party and guys were going to start bawling their eyes out. It sucks. I agree it sucks. It shouldn't happen. It happened. It would bother me more if it happened in a game, if it happened during the course of a game. Did you see that? I know you saw the video. This is what it tells me. The guy's knee was compromised.
Yeah, but you can't be. We've seen injuries like that from guys hopping around. He
wasn't even hopping. It was like a toe tap. So that tells me that there was something and there was going to happen anyway, and it just happened to happen on the field.
For Team Puerto Rico in a worthless baseball classic.
Well, worthless to you, not worthless to them.
No, it's a worthless baseball.
To
WBC,
you, not
worthless baseball
to
classic.
you, not to them.
But then that's the problem. Then how much is Team Puerto Rico paying Diaz to play?
I don't know, but I do think, and this is another thing. Al, can you check for me to see if these guys have to have insurance on their own? Because I think it protects the team from paying him.
And by the way, Steve Cohen couldn't give a crap less about the money. Neither do Met fans.
Not right, correct.
We want the closer there.
Correct.
Try World Series of last year, they lost the closer.
Are you in this camp, though, that thinks the season's over now because Edwin Diaz is gone?
No, but I'm disgusted this morning.
Totally
devastated.
Agree. So let's have that conversation,
if
which
they
we will.
If they Lindor for 2 months, I'd feel better than losing Diaz for the year.
Really?
Yes. An injury, and honestly, Jared, now, again, I hate the WBC. I've always hated it because of this exact reason. Been talking about it for weeks. Last night, did you see Lindor with the inside the park home run?
I did see that.
Okay, so I see a highlight, and people say, oh, look at Lindor run. And I'm like, yeah, I guarantee you won't be seeing him running that hard come, mid-April. And I'm thinking, good thing he doesn't get hurt here. Like, take it easy. It's mid-March, and he's rounding the bases like it's the World Series Game 7.
Because it is to them.
But that That's the problem. Then you know what? Go play there and give the Mets their money back, and let's go. And the Mets go sign
You make
somebody
it sound
else.
like he's not going to play for the Mets. He's going to be there on opening day.
They're risking putting the Mets. Did you hear what Brandon Nimmo said?
You risk everything every day. I hate this narrative. So I did that. I was going to do this at 6:45, but hell, let's do it now. Matter of fact, if you could have some clown music for me, Eddie, this would be great. Because here's what happens in life, okay? So let's do this, and let's just shut ourselves down and not do anything. I mean anything.
Right.
Just be a baseball player. Matter of fact, Matt, let's move into the stadium. Because you know what happens when you get in the car to drive home? You might get into a car accident.
The Mets have had that
Let's
happen.
not live in an apartment building, because you know what happens in those? Sometimes there are fires, and you could be caught in an apartment building fire. You can't protect yourself from everything.
But you can
can't.
limit risks.
Yes, you can limit risks. And if you
He's
told
playing,
me
he got hurt playing this 90
tapping his leg. This is not a baseball injury. This is a guy who's clearly had something wrong with his knee. This might have happened on April 3rd, April 4th. Who knows? It's not even like he threw a pitch and fell off the mound the wrong way and his leg went. My God, these are world-class athletes. If this is a
Apparently
torn
not.
ACL from this, what the hell is going on?
Look, I can't explain to you how or why this happened. I know nothing about his knee or if it were something that was going to blow
This couldn't be
anyway.
another team. It's got to be the Mets.
Well, that's
God,
the
darn
problem.
it.
But it's not even that, Jared. It's the point that these guys want to go partake in this worthless baseball classic.
To you.
No, to everybody.
To you. This is a big deal for these guys.
But then, Jared, if there's something that's their job to play for the Mets. You heard what Brandon
Why
Nimmo
do we
said,
get?
right?
Hold on. Why do we get into the World Cup so much? Why? How? And I don't, and you don't.
Right.
But why do people around here lose their minds for the World Cup every? I don't even know what it is.
Well,
every
whatever.
2 years.
4
but
years. They
why?
represent the country.
Okay,
Right.
it's a big deal to some people, and for these guys, it's a big deal.
Right.
I don't care about it. You don't care about it. They do.
Yeah, but they have a job that they're getting paid millions of dollars to do. And by partaking in this worthless baseball classic, they are risking hurting the team that is paying them hundreds of millions of dollars. That's the issue. I'm not debating that they care about it or not. It doesn't mean anything. So it may mean something to them individually. Then guess what? Does it mean more than your $100 million contract? Give that up. Because if I'm the owner, I'd say, look, I'm not trying to prevent you from doing something you love to do. But if you want to go do that, I'm not keeping you under contract. I'm paying you to play for me. I need you to do what Brandon Nimmo said, make the Mets a priority, go out there and win a World Series. And by the way, I'm not blaming Diaz. I'm not blaming Lindor or Alonso or McNeil who went to play in this worthless baseball classic. I'm saying how it should be handled from an owner's perspective because this result is unacceptable and now puts the Mets season in jeopardy for what? An exhibition tournament because it's something Diaz likes to do? Maybe he likes to play basketball too. Is that a good idea? You want to go 5-on-5 and play hoops outside? Is that going to put you at risk? Yes, it is.
Of course it will.
But he loves doing it, so what is he going to do?
And so does driving home.
But it's a little
It
different.
does though. Why? Why is it different?
Because you have to drive home. You don't have to play
No, just
in the
live at the
worthless
stadium.
baseball classic.
Just live there. Move in. Don't go anywhere. Don't do anything. Just
Jared,
stay right there.
You're smart enough to understand the difference. You have to drive. You have to walk. You have to shower. I know you could get hurt.
And there's risk
doing
with all of it.
But there's more risk by playing in a
He didn't get hurt in the game. He got hurt after the game.
Celebrating, which is
If
even
that's what you
worse.
want to call it. I mean, yes, they're hopping around like kids. I mean, this whole thing drives me bonkers.
So you just chalk it up for bad luck?
Like, to me, if you told me NFL players should never go play in exhibition tour, I agree. I have more of an issue with the NHL guys going and playing in the Olympics.
Didn't we see this with guys in a football where it was like a Pro Bowl or whatever? They get hurt on the beach, tearing their ACL.
Yeah, for
or
sure.
whatever.
Yeah. Running on the beach. It was Robert Edwards, I think, tore up his entire leg running on the beach.
Right. So he didn't have to do that. Like, you shouldn't be at these worthless events.
And what did it cost him? His career.
Okay,
Right?
was it worth it?
That's the risk reward.
And
you want to have some fun, you might suffer some risk. And for him, it happened. You know how many millions of people that run on the beach that don't tear up their legs?
Right.
Which leads you to another conversation. Why does it happen with these guys? Like
That I can't explain. But what I can say is that I know the worthless baseball classic should not be taking place with major league players, especially when you're talking about the timing of it. Now, you could say that there is no good time to have it. Well, then guess what? Don't have it. The Olympics are a little different, too. You're representing the country on it's talking about the Olympics. This is a made-up tournament from Major League Baseball. They made it up.
To promote a dying game.
Yeah. Oh, how'd that
I mean,
work out for
you
them
agree,
now?
though.
Good. I'm glad.
Would you? I mean, you see it. Listen, Baseball right now is in a place where we're speeding up the game to fight boredom. Would you not agree with that? We have a pitch clock in play now because they're worried about losing the younger fans.
Right.
I mean, how many calls do you take all the time about from callers that are, I don't know, 75 years older?
Right.
How many 18-year-olds and 15 and 16-year-olds are calling you to talk about baseball on a nightly basis during your show?
No, I know. I know
Okay,
what
so
you're saying.
so would you not agree that baseball is trying to do something and has been doing things to speed up the game, make the game more exciting? You can make the case that they have blown up the baseball for home runs to make it more exciting. Of course, by doing that, we've got more strikeouts, which hurts the game. We don't want boredom, so now we're going to throw a pitch clock into play, which I love. They're trying to grow the game in a game that right now a lot of people would say is dying.
Right.
You see the crowds for these games?
Which is fine. So it's about the country, right? It's about the country.
It's about growing the game, and I do agree. I think lesser of an extent for the American team, but I do think for teams like Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, I think it's huge for them.
So why do we have to have major league players who are making millions of dollars partaking? Why can't it be guys like Matt Harvey, guys who were in the majors or trying to make it
because there's not
get
enough
back,
of them and people wouldn't care.
Amateurs.
We pay for the stars.
What do you mean?
We pay for the stars.
Yeah, to see them play for the Yankees and the Mets and whatever other team.
Look at the crowds, though. You're right.
You think
you're
they're there
wrong.
because of Lindor, or you think they're there because of Team Puerto Rico
I think
versus
that's part.
DR?
I think it's both. I think when you have do you see the box scores? You see these rosters?
I'm not paying attention to that worthless baseball classic.
I know you're
not. That's the first highlight that I saw.
Though. But that's the point. You're looking at a game last night that had the likes of Edwin Diaz, Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Manny Machado. It was like an all-star game. And here's the best part of it, and I'm saying that facetiously. What do we talk about with the baseball all-star game? It's an exhibition. No one gives a damn.
Right.
This is an all-star game full of stars that actually care, and we're really playing.
Right.
You already pointed out Lindor running around like his hair's on fire.
Right.
It'd be nice to see that in May.
That doesn't bother you?
That's another issue for the player and what the game is in May and June. That's a different conversation.
But Jared, we care about Major League Baseball. If not for Major League Baseball, Francisco Lindor, Edwin Diaz, Pete Alonso, Jeff, they wouldn't have these opportunities to play in this worthless baseball classic to begin with. It starts and ends with Major League Baseball and the teams that are paying these players big salaries to play for them. Nothing else should matter. It doesn't to me because I grew up worrying about Major League Baseball, not the USA made-up baseball team in some BS worthless baseball classic. So you're right. Players care about it, and it's passionate baseball to a certain extent. They should be bringing that passion to the games come opening day.
I agree with that. And I think
won't.
And they do. The dog days of summer sometimes, the dog days of a baseball season, we always talk about get on players for effort, not results sometimes. And sometimes the effort's not there like they are in games like this, which is even, and it's not even just the...
Max Scherzer called it a pseudo playoff game.
Yeah, because... It's easy for us to sit here and not give a crap about it. And I, believe it or not, I don't. I really don't. Right. I haven't watched more than... I watched, you're going to laugh. I think I watched 5 minutes of Columbia, Great Britain the other day because it was on in the middle of the afternoon.
What'd you think of those unis, Great Britain?
But I don't care about it. I'm looking forward to opening day. I'm looking forward to Major League Baseball. But we're not involved. When a guy like Max Scherzer, and he did, I played the clip the other day talking about he's not ready to pitch because these are playoff atmosphere type games. To them, it means something. And I would never take that away from them. I think that's actually great.
Right, which is why you give the Yankees and Mets credit, and I know the Mets had a lot more players per day, because you don't want to be... I guarantee you Steve Cohen, Billy Epler, Buck Showalter, they don't want Edwin Diaz playing there. They don't want Lindor.
They don't want anybody there.
Correct.
For sure.
So they're doing the right thing, saying, all right, it's Major League Baseball event. You guys love doing this. We're not going to give you a hard time. Go ahead and do it. I mean, you don't want to pitch back-to-back days.
For sure.
And then this is the thanks they get. This is the thanks Steve Cohen, who opens up the checkbook. This is the thanks that he gets. This is what Met fans get for now having the best closer in the game. This is what they get now. Before 2 weeks ahead of opening day, they now likely lose Edwin Diaz for the entire
What
year.
did the Mets do last year in spring training before the season began?
What do you mean?
What they do to kind of replicate what things would be like in October?
What? This stupid celebration?
Uh-huh.
Was that last year?
I believe that was last year.
And Buck wasn't doing that nonsense,
maybe it was the year before. Whatever.
Yeah,
the point is, and we found out from
I think that was a BVW thing.
It might have been, but we also found out after how stupid that was that a lot of other teams do that. What do you do when you celebrate?
Right, jump up and down, hop, what? Yeah.
I mean, we're making it sound like this was a baseball injury. It wasn't. That's the thing that drives me nuts about it.
But I think this is even worse.
Yeah, and if it would have happened in Port St. Lucie, then what?
Oh, people would have been upset, but at least it would have been, hey, he's doing it or he got injured while doing something for the team that is paying him.
He was hopping up and down like a 4-year-old.
For a worthless baseball classic, for an exhibition. So Jared... Jared, what happens if you twist his ankle playing basketball and is out for 3 months?
You're going to be furious.
But you're going to be like, wow, he likes shooting hoops.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would, because you got to live your life. And unfortunately, that's the risk he takes.
Unfortunately, if you're making hundreds of $1 million a year, you know what? Maybe living life doesn't constitute playing a pickup basketball game or participating in some worthless baseball classic. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so let's be serious for a second. You've got pick another player. I don't care who it is. Pick a player.
Right. Gleyber Torres.
Right. Fine. Gleyber Torres.
Because he's there. I mean, I'm just.
What do you want Gleyber Torres to do all offseason?
Oh, I want him. No, I don't care what he does in the.
So if he goes on vacation, and I'm being dead serious about this, Gleyber Torres in, I don't know, December, January decides to go to Ibiza and takes a jog on the beach in the morning because he wants to stay in shape, and he tears up his right whatever.
Right.
That's irresponsible too.
To me, in the offseason is a different story. And all I would ask is that they limit. Well, because you're not getting ready for the year.
You just said a guy can't play basketball or tear up his leg on the beach.
Well, I would also limit risks. Not running on the beach, whatever. I mean, that's but playing.
Robert Smith lost his career.
Pickup game of basketball, different story. You got to be smarter than that. Where maybe there's stuff in contracts where it could be void. Riding motorcycles, it probably shouldn't. You need to be smart and protect the asset that is making you the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Fine, then let's wrap everybody in bubble wrap. You know, there's a bumper sticker around that says bleep happens.
Yeah.
Except put the real word in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes crap just happens.
Yeah, dot to the Mets. And I'm sick of it.
And it sucks. And I agree. That having been said, at some point this hour or next hour, we'll try and come up with a solution. Because as bad as this is, it isn't the end of the world for this team.
He's irreplaceable, Jared.
Yes, he is.
No.
Oh, stop it. Everybody's replaceable. Oh, knock it off. Stop. And you hated him. And you hated him. You wanted to run him out of... You were going to put him on a bus and drop him off a pier into the Hudson River 2 years ago.
If this was 2019, it'd be a different
God.
story.
And we're also making it seem like he's going to come back and be the exact same guy he was last year. You don't know that either.
No, but I would like to have a chance to find out.
And you also have a couple of veterans. Go earn your money. And maybe he gets back in September or October. Last time I checked, the Phillies and the Braves didn't have Mariano Rivera walking through the door anytime soon.
What would you say was the most, and forget about wins, losses, what would you say was one of the most, if not
the horns are gone. The horns are gone.
You're taking one of the most, if not the most exciting, entertaining part of the Mets games for Met fans.
I agree.
Out.
And that sucks. I agree.
It's a big problem.
And so much so that other players and franchises started doing it as well.
It's a huge thing.
I understand.
It's a huge part of the Mets right now.
I'm not
Diaz
arguing
is
with you.
a huge part of it. And now that's gone.
I agree.
Because
Correct.
of a worthless baseball classic.
Because his leg wasn't stable. That's why. Really. I mean, it's not because of the tournament. It's because his leg clearly wasn't stable I don't even want to call it a hop. I mean, what was that? It was a huddle and a toe tap. Oh! Give me a break. I mean, what are we talking about
but
here?
You don't know. What are you, doctor?
He's not sprinting down to first base and yanking a hamstring where you could say it happened in this game.
If the knee was so bad, why didn't it happen when he was pitching?
It might have. And based on what I saw last night on this video, it probably would have.
You don't know that. You're speculating.
And you don't know that he would have been the same guy as he was last year.
I do know this. If he didn't participate in the WBC, odds are he'd be getting ready to close out games come opening day in 2 weeks.
Odds are not 100%.
Oh, nothing's 100%.
He might have torn his ACL, I don't know, walking down the stairs from his condo in Port St. Lucie this morning.
Right.
And you don't know that either.